So I do normally go live on my public page and I do normally share into this group. But I just thought, you know what, I'm going to go live in this group because I just want to. I'm going to mix things up a little bit. I'm going to talk to you all a little bit about being a psychic and what it might be like for you guys that are currently experiencing it at this moment in time. So I'm just going to rewind all the way back just a little bit. Hello, Candice. Hello, Maria. When you come on, do say hi to me. Let me know you are there and let me know what your thoughts are. And if you have any questions, that'd be great. So the last live stream I did on being gifted was when I was in my pool on holiday. Now I'm sat in the rain in my office watching the rain come down, freezing with a blanket all over me. What a difference a week makes. But I wanted to talk to you all about being gifted and what you might be experiencing. And I think it's important to address that, yes, while spiritualism is wonderful, while spirit are great and they are so loving and they're so kind, and being connected to spirit is wonderful. You get so much guidance, love and answers and all of that jazz, and all that is amazing. But in the beginning, it can be quite difficult. It can not always be roses and, you know, shining fireworks and fabulousness and feeling protected and loved beyond all realms. It isn't always that great. And I think it's good that I paint that picture to you and be honest with you as well, because I've had that experience. It wasn't always amazing. It really wasn't. And I did struggle with my gift for many, many years. Now, if you're new to the group, you won't know that story. And I'm not going to go into massive detail on it because I have talked on it a lot. And for those people that have been in the group a long time, probably like, I don't need to hear your story again, Katie. I really don't. But it was a difficult time, and it is a difficult time for most people when they come and find me and when they start training and actually involving themselves spiritually and starting to really open up in the right way. It can be a really difficult journey. Not always, but sometimes it can. But in my experience, I struggled with my gift for many, many years. I struggled to accept I actually had a gift to start with. I thought I was going crazy. I thought that the people I could see were, I didn't really know what I thought it was. I just thought I was a bit crazy, but I was so normal, if anyone's normal. I was so normal in every other aspect of my life and lived a normal life, went to school, had friends, had a supportive family. Hello, Helen. Hello, everyone. And I had a very normal life, but I'd had this other side to me that was extremely difficult. Like I knew what people were feeling. I knew what people are thinking, even though they were saying one thing, I could see that they actually wanted to say something else. I knew things that I couldn't possibly know about family members that had transitioned over. I was seeing people in my sleep. I was seeing people when I was drifting off to sleep. I was seeing people, particularly at night time, seeing people in the hallways of the house. I was connected with, like I said, our family members that had gone over I'd never met before. And I just knew everything about them. Like there were so many things that I was picking up on. I'd have dreams about certain situations and then they would come true. I'd be thinking deep thoughts about other people that we hadn't maybe seen for a long time, and then they get in contact with us. And there was just so much that was happening around me. I was being visited most nights and I found it really, really hard. And I actually got used to going to sleep with loud music on. That was the only way I could actually get to sleep and drown it all out. So I used to listen to, ironically, do you remember the song I Can't Get No Sleep? And it goes do 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 do. You know, the rave version of that. If you don't know it, it's really good. I can't remember what it's called, but I used to sit there and listen to that because it was the only thing that like made me switch off and put me in a dancey, higher vibe mood rather than, oh God, what's around the corner? You know, is something going to pop up in my face in a minute and just jump on the end of my bed? And it was a very difficult time. Now, most people that come to find me are my students. So I've run psychic school now for, I don't even know how many times, but I've run it a lot and I've trained a lot of people through their gift and taken many, many people from, you know, thinking they were going crazy and feeling like they were getting lost to actually accepting who they are and finding real peace. It was amazing. So I've done that so many times now. And the common thing that people actually end up saying all the time is, I feel like I'm going crazy. When they find me, they go, you're going to think I'm mad, but, and then they start off with something. When I say, what is it you've been experiencing? And they say, you're going to think I'm crazy, but, or I've had this, Katie, but. And then sometimes they won't even tell me the first couple of things. They'll hold back some information and some visits or some things that they've had. Maybe there was one lady that had been taken from a bed and she didn't realise that that's a very normal thing that happens when you're gifted. And it used to happen to me all the time. and still happens every now and again, but you get taken from your bed in your sleep and you get transitioned to another world or to another place. And yeah, it just feels really weird, and everything feels very bright and you're very aware of your surroundings, you're very aware of the smells, you're very aware of everything. And I was like, yeah, and I could feel that she was holding back on something. So she was sharing some elements of what she'd been experiencing. And she was really upset and she was teary telling me, because it does feel very heavy. It does feel like maybe not pleasant. I mean, I'm not painting you a great picture here, am I? But I've got to be honest with you. Sometimes this is the way it is. And it's not for everyone, but the vast majority of people don't always have a great experience to start with. And then when she actually opened up and told me the other thing that she'd had, because like, there's more you're not telling me. And she's like, yeah, this is the other thing that's happened. I was like, okay, that's fine. And a lot of the time, these people, when she explained that, okay, that's fine, that's normal, this is what happens, other people have had similar experiences, not just myself, other students have. And then they've overcome it by doing XYZ practices, and they've involved themselves into spirituality and practices, and it doesn't open up into a realm of danger. It doesn't open them up into a realm of, oh God, you're experiencing this now. Can you imagine if you start training and start putting all your energy into training and developing your psychic ability? How are you going to be then? You're going to be even more suffering. You're going to have even more things happen to you, and you're going to open up to a world that's so unbeknown. And, you know, I don't know, little elves are going to visit you in the night, and, you know, people are going to think that you're weird and this, that, and the other. It isn't a case of that. By opening up, you actually start to alleviate the heaviness around you. That's exactly what it does. I was under the impression, like those of the people that I've trained, that opening up actually opens Pandora's box, and God, who knows what else there is coming out of there. And then you'll never be able to turn back, because that's it. Then you've opened up the box, and, you know, everything's going to be opened up in the air, and who knows what you're setting yourself up for. Who knows what unbeknown things are out there in the world that you're going to end up bringing into your life, into your family, into your home. And that's what I was feeling, and I was really scared. And when I first started going to the spiritualist church, it wasn't, I had some of that happen. Like, I was expecting that to happen. So I was expecting like bad energy and horrible energy to be around me, and oh my God, what am I going to do? And it's going to get really heavy and stressful. And I ended up having light bulbs explode in the house, and I had all sorts of weird things happen, not poltergeisty things, but just weird things that happen. And it wasn't a pleasant experience, but I totally associated it with, I'm opening up, I'm developing, of course this is going to happen to me. But what actually happened is, it wasn't the fact that there was me opening up to spirit and inviting dangerous things in. What actually happened was, my energy was so low, I felt so flat, and I felt so like helpless, because I'd literally not been sleeping properly. I'd got headaches, I'd have literally so stressful and just feeling horrible, that I'd invited lower vibration around me and an expectation of that's what's going to happen. But when you actually start to work with spirit, and once you start to get the balance and you can sleep properly and you feel calm and you feel at ease and you feel like really good, then you start to attract the loving energies and the angelic realms, and you start to bring in all the wonderful aspects of spirit. And because you expect that to happen for you, you set those energetic boundaries of that's what you actually have to expect. So if, for example, my students coming through do go, oh my God, I feel like I'm going to open up Pandora's box, and they start having their freakouts and think the elves are coming and all that jazz, I say to them, don't worry, we're going to lift your vibration. We're going to make sure that you're good. We're going to open up your channels. We're going to do a little bit of cleansing within you, and you're then going to invite spirit in, so that when you do invite them in, you're operating from a higher level. You know, there's so many mediums out there, and there's so many gifted souls, and some of them don't come with a good heart, sadly. Not all of them come with the expectation of spirit are wonderful, spirit are loving, and they don't expect that sort of energy from the spirit world. So of course they attract a lower vibration, and sometimes their readings and the information they give you are totally inaccurate. And it's not because they're rubbish and they don't know what they're doing and they're not gifted and somebody else is more better than them. It's nothing to do with that. It's about their personal vibration and their personal expectation of spirit and their personal beliefs of spirit. That's what needs adjusting, not necessarily their psychic training. Are you all still with me? I'm conscious I'm talking very fast, but it's because I'm being channeled. All right. Yes, I do have my guides next to me always, and angels, and this is why I'm talking so fast to you all. So It's really important, if you are feeling any of the symptoms of having a gift and it's not serving you right now, that you actually start to develop and you start to learn and start to stand into your power with these practices. And the reason for that is because feeling rubbish and feeling like you're going crazy and feeling like you're making all this up in your head, because that's what so many people feel when they start off, and they're like, do I have a gift, Katie, or am I just cray cray? And I'm like, well, you know what? Some people can be a little bit cray cray. That's all right. The most interesting people are. But also, the vast majority of you do have a gift, and that's what's happening. If you found your way to me and if you found your way to spiritualism, you've been brought to that place for a reason. And that is usually because you have a gift and you need to explore it. So that's the first and foremost. You'll start to feel better, but you won't know whether you're actually fully gifted or in what area your specialties are until you start to embrace the spiritual practice, embrace life. But it doesn't have to be scary. Is there anyone there now that feels that if they started to embrace spiritualism or started to learn about the practices, that they have that fear that things will open up and go, oh, what is going on? Or they think they might have had some experience of spirit, but they're not sure, and they don't feel that they're necessarily gifted with it. Like, talk to me. Is that how you're feeling at the moment? Because it is very, very common. And I just want you to know you're not alone with that. And you are in full control of your gift at all times. And that's exactly what I say to my students. You are always in full control of your gift. You're always being looked after. You're always being nurtured. And whilst the actual practices might not work straight away for you, what they do is allow you to see where the path is that you need to start working on and start your spiritual journey. But when you actually start embracing spirit, oh God, it's the most wonderful thing ever. It's such a privilege. And it feels so, like, as soon as I started opening up and as soon as I started to realize that my vibration played a part in it and my belief in spirit, I had to shift my beliefs of spirit world scary, spirit are unknown, it's darkness, or, you know, and I started to shift all that because I'd had such terrible experiences as a child. Why wouldn't I feel that way? When I started to shift it the other way and go, you know what, spirit are wonderful, spirit are kind, spirit are loving, and started to evolve in that sense, I felt so much better. I felt like a weight had been lifted, because when you have a gift, I don't know if anyone knows this, let me know if you know this, but when you have a gift, spirits on the other side know that you are a gifted soul. So what they do is they're magnetized towards you. So they end up, you being your gifted soul, you doing your thing on earth and being you, and then all of a sudden they all sort of congregate, magnetize and come all around you because they can, and they know that they can get a message through for you, so they're attracted to you. But all that energy of all those souls all around you can feel extremely heavy for you, and it can actually stop serving you. So you can actually feel really like, oh, lethargic, like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders, feeling really heavy, feeling really like tired, demotivated, feel a bit weird around certain people. It can just make you feel really, really weird and a bit funky. And that's because all of those energies, can you imagine all of those spiritual souls desperate to talk to their loved ones and desperate to get a message over, or desperate to help you on your journey? They're all there with that energy and all that expectation, and there's so many of them attached to you. Of course, it's like anything. If I was to put a magnet up and put it in a pool of hair grips and they all went ch-ch-ch-ch, you wouldn't be any space on the magnet, would there? There would be nothing. So of course the magnet would start to get heavy, and the magnet would stop picking up other people, wouldn't it? Stop picking up the hairpins, because there'd be no space on the magnet. And that's exactly the same as spirit. So if you visualize yourself as a magnet, the hairpins are spirits around you, and when you've got that many on you, the weight of the magnet becomes tenfold, doesn't it? And that's exactly the whole point. So the only way to remove those and take away the magnetism is to pass on the messages and start opening up the spirituality, because then what will happen is you'll have control of how many hairpins come to you. Remember, this is a metaphor, the hairpins are spirit. You'll be able to be in control of that, because they won't be able to be sucked onto you and held onto you so tight, okay? Because you'll be in control of, you know what, my magnetism today is closed. When I'm open, you're welcome to come and talk to me, and then I'll close it off, and you'll feel so much better. You'll feel so much love. You'll feel so elevated. You'll feel so uplifted, and you'll feel like you can actually start connecting and actually passing on messages in the most authentic, beautiful way. All right. Did you understand my metaphor there? Hope you all did. Hello, Vicky from Florida. How are you guys doing over there? Because I know it's a little bit difficult. Not that I watch the news, but I think you guys have been hit with corona a little bit more, or you're in the thick of it at the moment. Is that right? I probably got that wrong. Helen, Kate, have you got a guide? Yes, Helen, I have, definitely. Mine has been a slow progression. Okay, yeah. So Helen, darling, if it's a slow progression, that's a good thing. It took me 16 years. It took me 16 years to go through this whole process. And that was just the training process. Prior to that, obviously, I'd had my gift and experienced, God, I can't even begin to tell you so much in that short space, in that long space of time, so much. I'd had childhood friends that used to come and visit me in my bedroom. I used to play games with them. I used to play with my Sylvanian families. And I used to wonder why they were dressed so old-fashioned. Like, I'd look at my clothes and I was like, they're all dressed in like long socks and shorts, like Victorian style. And there's me just dressed in, you know, my normal leggings and a top. And it was because of these souls, it was because of these spirits that come to me that I'd be like, oh, I want nice dresses. So my poor mom ended up wanting to wear ball gowns all day just because it was a Tuesday and I'd walk around in a ball gown. And I went through a phase of that was it. I literally just would only wear ball gowns and smart dresses, and I'd look very like regal all the time. My mum would be like, you can't go out like that and play in the garden. I'm like, I can and I will. And there's video clips of me riding my bike around the house, which was, I couldn't ride a bike, I had stabilizers on, but riding my bike with stabilizers on, with a ball gown on, and riding round and round, hair perfect, because that was what the spirits were like. They were coming to see me. They were all perfectly dressed in the Victorian clothes and looking all gorgeous and perfect hair with the ribbons and things like that. So I wanted to look like them. So that's where I got my fashion sense from the old fashioned styles. And yeah, my mum was like, where is all this coming from? Why do you want to wear a ball gown? And I was like that for years, years and years. That's all I ever wore. It's all the pictures they've got of me, all the video clips. I stopped wearing leggings, I stopped wearing jumpers, and I was just like, no, I want to wear this. And to be fair, I wasn't the thinnest of children. I was a bit of a chubber. I liked my food. And yeah, some of the dresses, I'd be like a big meringue. So I ended up being like a puff ball walking around, which is quite funny, really. I'll have to see if I can dig some pictures out for you all. But yeah, I'm talking full on ball gowns. It was next level. Yes, on a daily basis. Yeah, okay, so you're experiencing it on a daily basis as well. So if you've got any of these symptoms, or if anything I'm saying to you actually resonates with you, you do need to get yourself into the Psychic Preschool group. I've put the link at the top of this live stream, so please get yourself in there. There's already trainings in there for you to start working through, but we begin live on Monday. So make sure you're in there for Monday. There we go. Almost got hit by the hurricane, but it turned. We are good. Lots of storms. Thank you for asking. Oh, you're welcome, darling. Hope you're all okay. Hurricanes are scary, but I do have to admit, I love a storm. I love watching. I think I'm a bit weird, but when we were in Florida years ago, there was hurricanes and there was tornadoes, and I could see them on the sea. I was literally fascinated. I loved it. Loved it. I love the film Twister as well, of watching them. I'm not sure if I'm saying I'm not sure how I know when I have a connection. Yeah, oh God, you'll know if you have a connection, absolutely. So if you think about it in the sense of most people when they get things through, so when my students start to read and they start to pick up on things, I mean, I do get them reading very quickly. I do get them reading straight away because it's like anything. You can skirt around it, you just need to face it head on. So I do put them in and I do make them start reading. But it's good, it's all controlled and there's no judgment, there's no pressure, but they do start doing it. But the common thing that every single student, and I expect all of you, if you become my students, to be exactly the same, and all of the people in the last preschool back in March, every single person said, what if I'm making this up? They get a message through, but then they're too scared to actually say it because they don't know if it's a connection, if it's a message, or if it's them making it up, or they're just assuming. We had ones where there was a lady, bless her, and she was getting the messages through, but then she was just like, I don't know whether this is right, I can't say it. And I'm trying to think of how I can actually say this so it makes sense to you all. But she felt as if she felt stupid sharing it. She felt really stupid, and she was so worried about getting it wrong that she would hold back. And then somebody else would say it, what she was thinking and what she was feeling, and then she'd be like, "Well, I was thinking that and I was feeling that, but I can't say that now because that person's just said it, and it looks like I'm just following that person." And there was another lady that ended up feeling that she assumed things. So, for example, if there was a test subject that, I don't know, had a very pretty face, or, you know, was relatively young, and they'd say, "Oh, she's into beauty, she's a beautician." But I thought that because obviously look at the way she looks, you know, she's going to be obviously a beautician. And it's like, okay, you can't assume things, because just because somebody looks a certain way doesn't mean that's why you got that message. And I always say to them, you've got to get things wrong, and it's good to get things wrong because you understand the different energies. So if you hold yourself back and you don't say what you're really feeling and seeing and hearing, then you're doing yourself an unjust, and that's not serving anyone, is it? So think about it in the concept of, I always say it's like the game show. I can't remember what the game show's called, but say what you see, say what you see. Catchphrase, there we go. It's like catchphrase, say what you see, say what you see. Because if you say what you see, you can't go wrong, can you? You just can't. And if the person doesn't understand it, you can actually go, and hang on, the energy of that is different to the one thing I was certain of. So I need to feel the energy of the thing I was certain of when I get a message through, or I need to go back to my guide and ask for more clarification. I'm going a bit deep there for you. That's basically what we cover in psychic preschool. So if you do start to get messages through and you're not sure what to do with them, then get yourself into that group and I'll be able to help you there. Wendy's saying, my gift is on and off. I can't ask it to happen. It just happens. You absolutely can ask it to happen, Wendy. And if it's on and off, then spirit are in control of it. So what happens then when it's on and off and you just can't switch off properly is that it takes over your life, really. They come through at any time, they'll drain you, they might make you feel a bit like, you might feel a bit heavy, or if you're in certain situations, maybe a busy environment like a hospital, or, you know, an airport pre-COVID when they are busy, then you might struggle in that environment because you might be picking up constant messages, or you might feel like a bit of a buzzing in your ear, like a buzzing all the time, and that's because it's spirit trying to contact. But you absolutely can turn it on and off, and it's imperative that you do learn to turn it on and off. I do all the time. The only time that they're able to communicate is you get like a buzzing. So if they do want you, you get like a buzzing in one of your ears. So or like they get your attention somehow, like a ball of light, in which case you're like, okay, all right, I'll call on you. But usually that's because they want you to either go, Katie, you need me, or Katie, I've got something to tell you, can you tune in? And that's how they get through to me. All right. And that's how I operate at a high level vibration, which is what I was talking about. So people that are permanently switched on, permanently tuned on, they're probably amazing psychics and getting great messages through, which is wonderful. But if it's that case, then you're going to end up feeling that, I've seen those people, I've seen those mediums. I don't want to name who they are, but some of them are really well known and I know them well. And they are really behind the scenes struggling immensely. And I was never going to take on this and this job and this career and this business if it was going to be detrimental to myself, because obviously anything that's detrimental to myself, my energy, is going to be detrimental to my family, and that wasn't going to be allowed for me. That's not going to work. So I will not let my students progress or go out into the big wide world without knowing how they can turn it off and turn it on. Protection is key, absolutely key, and that is so important. Right, where else? We covered that, Wendy, in the preschool. If you want to join, it will really help you. Donna saying, I feel since I've opened up more, my dreams are so real. I get so many messages in my dreams. Absolutely, dreams are visitations, and they're actually also sometimes just dreams that we need to understand, and there's a message in there as well. But visitations are beautiful. Spirit do tend to come to the students when they first start through dreams, because it's the path of least resistance. It's the area where they're the most open, the most free. So absolutely, that is amazing. And make a note of the dreams and make a note of what comes through and what you're experiencing, because you'll find it fascinating. And there's meanings behind each and every one. What else is there? Is there anyone else got any more questions? So we get started on Monday, which is amazing. And I can't wait to be with you all. You can join for the live stream. And also, if you can't make it live, don't worry, you can catch up. The group's going to be running for a month, so there'll be a chance for you to practice, experience, share. You've got me there to answer your questions. You'll know what, areas you need to focus on more. I'm there for you all. I'll support you all. So get yourself into the group. The link is at the top, and we'll see what we can do to help you. A reading would be great, please. Oh, okay, Joyce, darling. So if you look for my live streams, or if you want to book a reading with me, you're very, very welcome to. If you just head to my website and follow book a reading, you'll be able to click on there, or you can wait till one of the live streams come on. All right, but get yourself into Psychic Preschool. We start Monday. There's content already there for you to absorb already, and will help you make your gift work for you. Remember, it shouldn't be how I experienced it. It shouldn't be the ball and chain around your neck. And you don't need to keep searching and searching and thinking you're going crazy. If you are experiencing anything at all, let me help you. Let Spirit help you. Let us take you to the next level with this. Let us support you. You're perfectly safe. I will look after you, and your guides will look after you as well. I love you all so much, my darlings. Have a wonderful rest of your day. My girls go back to school tomorrow, well, 2 of them do. So it's a big day in our house. But I love you all so much. Enjoy the rest of your days, and tell your family you love them as well. Okay? Mwah.